Good evening from beautiful Pleasant Grove, Utah. It's virtual happy hour time. I am Lon Hudman, Vice President of Events and Marketing at Soul Naturals, and our virtual happy hour topic for tonight is cleansing. Now, you can tell it's a virtual happy hour because I have my favorite Soul beverage. Here, I have a little Soul Vital mixed up, add a little lemon juice, lime juice, delicious. So, welcome everyone. I can see everyone is already chatting in. I saw Cajun Mom, 1967, earlier chatted that good evening from Arnoldville, Louisiana. I also see Jody Poole says hello, everybody. Deanne Isbell, howdy, everyone. So welcome all of my soul siblings to our virtual happy hour. And as I said, tonight, our topic is cleansing. Okay, we're going to be talking about the digestive system, how to have a healthy digestive system. And the one thing that I found is that when I have a healthy digestive system and everything's working the way that it's supposed to work, I'm happier. I'm not angry. And speaking of angry, what group of people is never angry? Okay? Why don't you chat in? What group of people is never angry? See if anyone can come up with the answer to my dad joke tonight. Let's see. Kristen Alexander knows a dad joke's coming. Can anyone think of the answer to the question? What group of people is never angry? The answer, nomads. Nomads are never angry. And that is the dad joke for tonight. And speaking of getting rid of things, getting past things, we've gotten past the dad joke, and now it's time to talk a little bit about healthy digestion and specifically elimination and cleansing. And if you remember, an Inside Soul earlier this month, Dr. Allison Caldwell Andrews talked to us a little bit about the importance of the lymphatic system and how important a healthy lymph system is to getting rid of toxins that are in the body. Well, she is going to join us tonight live, and she's going to conclude her presentation on the lymphatic system and give us a little more information about lymph and how we can make sure that we have a healthy lymphatic system. So, Allison, are you there?
I'm so ready to go.
And you're not mad, you're not angry, and you're not even a nomad.
I've never been a nomad.
All right. So, are you ready to kind of share some more information about the lymphatic system?
Yeah, last time we talked about how the lymph system really helps your body get rid of toxins. And so I thought we'd just dive in a little deeper this time because I think the lymph system is really cool. And it's one of those things that most people don't learn a lot about. You learn about the circulatory system in school. You learn about muscles. You learn about bones. You don't really learn about lymph. So lymph is a fluid. It contains white blood cells, fights infections. And so it's sort of like the same thing as blood, only without the red blood cells. We talked about that. So it flows through your capillaries into that space in between the cells, that interstitial space between cells. And that's where it can sort of wash out whatever is there that needs to be taken care of, dead cells, cellular waste, bacteria, viruses, all of those sorts of things. So that's what the lymph system is. The lymph system contains a number of, maybe you can go to the next slide. It contains tissues, vessels, and organs. It's kind of like the veins and capillaries for the blood, only like we talked about, lymph system isn't pumped by the heart. It also includes a whole bunch of lymph nodes. And so these are tissues, they're about the size of a bean or so, size and shape of a bean. And there's about 300 of them throughout your body. There's a lot of lymph nodes. And they tend to cluster like behind your knees, in your groin, in your neck, under your arms. There's some in your chest area. And that is like your filtration system. And so that lymph fluid goes through those filters, and those filters kill whatever needs to be killed in the lymph system. So whatever virus cells or bacteria that's problematic or whatever comes through there kind of gets, you can think of as it gets sterilized before that lymph fluid gets then returned to the blood system. And so it screens out all the detritus, goes back to the blood system. That whole system transports the lymph fluid throughout your entire body. And so you can think continually monitoring, surveilling, cleansing that lymph, cleansing through the lymph, cleansing your whole body. Okay, next. Thymus and bone marrow are the primary lymphoid organs because they produce a lot of the lymphocytes or the leukocytes. The secondary organs include a lot of organs throughout the body. They're connected through that lymph system. And so you've got tonsils and adenoids. A lot of times people get rid of those. Your spleen, you're told you can live without that. And I know a good friend who lives without her spleen, not on purpose, not by choice. And the lymph nodes, those are all part of it. And then you've got all the mucous membrane throughout your digestive tract. That is part of the lymph system in that sense. Peyer's patches, which are in the intestinal tract and help with the immune system, and the appendix. All of these things are critical for the functioning of the lymph system so it can be maximized. You can still function without some of these, but it's not as ideal, you could say. And so next slide is about, I think, the appendix, which we're used to when you were growing up, if you're older like I am, or maybe they fixed this. And although, it's amazing how long some misinformation lasts on the internet. We used to think the appendix wasn't useful for anything. It was like an evolutionary remnant, but we really need it for helping protect our good bacteria in the digestive system. So not only does it help remove waste, but it's sort of like a reservoir of that good bacteria. And if that good bacteria gets wiped out for some reason, then the appendix can help recolonize with a reservoir of good bacteria. Okay, next one. So lymph, blood without the red blood cells, it carries all these leukocytes. There are lots of different kinds. I'm just going to show you what they are. And it improves or helps with your innate and your adaptive immunity. We've all over the past couple years learned a little bit about innate and adaptive immunity. Adaptive immunity is where your body is learning, what do I need to do to get rid of this particular virus or bacteria that's invading me. Okay, next. So here is a list of the leukocytes, and just so you can see, we're not going to go through them. I just want you to see how that lymph system creates so much of your immune system, helps you with all the cells that are out creating antibodies or actually killing damaged disease cells or the bacteria and virus or problems themselves. Okay, next. We kind of covered this. I guess I just talked about it. Okay, wide distribution throughout the body and constant surveillance and detection. I can't think of a better system. It's constantly flowing throughout your body. And so you really want to take care of your lymph system. And that's really where our focus is going to be. Next slide. When you're taking care of your lymph system, it is moving. That system needs to move in order to function. If it's stagnant, then it's not washing through anything and it's not moving through the lymph nodes. It's just sitting there and it's not of any use to you. And so since there's no heart to pump the lymph system, we need to move to help the lymph system move. So it moves when you're breathing and some of your digestion, that will kind of help it move a little bit. Of course, moving your body really helps to move. People talk about, certainly walking, running, any sort of exercise, but a lot of times people talk about rebounding and getting one of those little mini trampolines that you can rebound on, and that will really help your lymph move too. And some herbs also help move your lymph. And I'll tell you a little bit about how that works. Next slide. First of all, we don't know anything exact, like most things. We don't know exactly how everything works, but we do know that there are some components of herbs that help move lymph, and coumarins and lectins are two of those components. So some people get overexcited about lectins and think that they're all bad, and like most things, nothing is all of one or another. Lectins have a really useful, multiple useful purposes for the body. And one of them is that it does help that lymph system move. Coumarins help the lymph system move. And those components also help stimulate more production of the lymphocytes, or those cells that will create antibodies and will help kill bacteria, viruses, invaders. Helps increase the blood flow through the capillaries, which will in turn push the lymph fluid. Helps decrease inflammation, and inflammation, sometimes that swelling can slow down lymph, and so you want to make sure inflammation is as low as you can get. Of course, unless you need it, right? And it helps the kidneys eliminate metabolic waste. And so that circulatory stimulating, the diuretics effect, all of that helps move the lymph system. And some herbs are really, really great at moving lymph. Next slide. And so one of those herbs is Mangista. And Mangista was known a long time ago outside of Ayurvedic medicine as, well, probably inside too, but as a really great method for painting. So red madder was a source of that red, really bright, brilliant red color. Mangista is the plant that comes from, also known as red madder, also known as Rubia cordifolia. Lots of different names for this plant. But what you get with Mangista is a wonderful mover of the lymph, in addition to a lot of other things that it does that are very, very helpful for assisting your body with the detoxification process. So next slide. Mangista will move that lymph and will help protect your liver, because again, you're moving all of that stuff out of the body. It's going through those lymph nodes. It's getting sterilized. That waste is moving out. Helps with your skin, because when stuff gets blocked up inside your body, your skin will look like it's blocked up. And it helps with that immune system. And so when you think about what do I need most of the time in your life, not just right now during times when we're thinking about, we're getting into the time where people are more sick. We're all worried about the pandemic still. Not just that, but all the time your body needs to function maximally. And so you're equipped with this lymph system automatically that comes with you in your body that already is marvelous at doing things that you want it to do. And so what you want to do is help that lymph system do its best. If you get that lymph moving, that will do far more for you than other little smaller things. That lymph moving is a really big deal. And so anytime you can take advantage of these kinds of herbs, Mangista especially is a wonderful one. Take advantage of that.
Thank you, Allison. More great information. For example, I had no idea that the appendix actually was a reservoir for friendly or good bacteria. That's new information to me. So
pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm going to invite all of our live audience, if you have a question for Dr. Allison, go ahead and chat that in, and I'll try and ask her that question. And while we're waiting to see if anyone has any questions, I had a question for you. So you mentioned that unlike blood, lymph fluid is not pumped through the body. It moves through the body based on our movement. And so you talked about walking or exercise or whatever, which I'm assuming helps the lymph fluid flow throughout the body. Would it require, or would more strenuous exercise be better, or is moderate exercise enough to get the lymphatic system working properly?
Yeah, great news, because moderate exercise, walking is enough. That those vessels are sort of like one-way tubes. And so that pressure moves them along, but they don't go backwards. And so it's sort of like, it's just, I guess I can't do this without noise effects, just like I can't explain it without that, apparently. Anyway, yeah, that's how it works. So you don't have to do a lot, but you do have to do something.
You have to have something. Okay. So I have a few comments. Ashley wants to know what product contains Mangista, and that would be Omnitox DC. Contains Mangista, and that's why it is a full body detox. that product. Works throughout the body because it helps improve the flow of lymph through the system. And let's
Right.
see.
When we were talking about that, when we were talking about Amatox at the very beginning, we really wanted this lymph component in it because it's critical for all detox.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to do detox without including the lymph.
Exactly. And it's a critical, when you talk about cleansing and detoxing, having a healthy lymphatic system is crucial to that happening. Let's see. Someone wanted to know, or someone commented, Dolores said that bouncing is the best lymph mover. Is that true? Bouncing, you mentioned the trampoline.
Right. Rebounding is very, very good. It's hard to beat
Awesome.
it. Dolores might have it there. I can't think of anything that seems better.
All right. Lisa Blake asks, if you have a family member that is bedridden, what is a good way to help their lymph system move? Great question.
If they're bedridden, I would certainly have them be doing deep breathing exercises because that can help. But part of why you're turning people to prevent bed sores is because there's not enough movement of the lymph. And so the more you can get that lymph moving, massage can help move that lymph. There are some things that you can do laying in bed that are exercises that can move the body enough. But whatever you can do to get that body with movement, a massage and deep breathing, and maybe you can lift your legs, maybe you can lift your arms and move around.
Any kind of movement's going to help, right?
Right. I wonder if you could even move them so they're laying on top of some sort of mini trampoline and just kind of move them up and down that way. I don't know to the extent what bedridden really means for this particular person.
Lisa Manchester commented that dry brushing can help move lymph.
Like massage. Yeah. Dry brushing is fantastic.
And I saw a really good question. Someone asked, let's see, would having a sluggish system from a long illness also cause a virus like shingles?
Would having a virus from a long illness...
a sluggish lymphatic system, would that encourage or...
Well, a sluggish lymphatic system doesn't cause anything. It just prevents you from getting rid of things. And so whatever you're going to...
So it could contribute to, being more susceptible to viruses.
More susceptible, and then not being able to get rid of it as fast. You can think of it that way.
Okay, one last question. If you have had your appendix removed, what can you do to help your lymph system compensate?
Move it. Drink plenty of fluid and move.
All right. A lot of fluids and move.
I just want to say also that dry brushing idea, there are ways to do dry brushing so that you're doing it in the direction that you want your lymph to go. And so that means up your arms, up your body toward those big lymph ducts. And so if you can go online and check out how to do it, there are lots of guides, but you definitely don't want to be brushing your lymph system away from where you want it to go. You want it to go up toward either on the right side of the body, up towards here, or on the left side.
Right, and so you can find out online, you can find different techniques.
It's pretty easy, right? Okay. How to dry brush. Right.
Awesome. All right, and I like Rosa Nunez's comment. She thinks dancing would be awesome, and I have to agree. I'm sure dancing is a great way to get the lymphatic system moving. All right, well, thank you, Allison, and we look forward to hearing more from you in future episodes of our virtual happy hour. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Now, that was just part one of our discussion on cleansing. I have another special guest that is going to talk to you more about cleansing and detoxing. And as you may know, we have several products that help cleanse either the intestinal system or the lymphatic system, and also help you to detox. And one of our more popular cleanses, a lot of people have their favorite cleanse or their favorite product to help them cleanse. But one of the more popular cleansing programs that we have at Soul Naturals is called the Good Track 14-Day Cleanse and Whole Body Detox. And we happen to have our resident expert on the Good Tract Cleanse, Christine DeVilliers, joining us live to talk about this cleanse. And I know you've used this cleanse a lot, Christine, and you have a lot of good information about it. So tell them about this particular cleanse and what makes it so effective.
You know, one of the things, Lon, when we look at this cleanse, I like to think of it as letting go of toxins. And, you know, a lot of people asked some very good questions tonight, and a lot was brought up about how we can keep the body moving and getting waste byproducts out of the body. You know, if we keep the colon clean and we cleanse the colon, what's going to end up happening is like we talk about it, the whole body will be able to detox because we're not recycling that waste byproduct back into the liver. And so it's going to support all our eliminative channels, and it's going to help give the body a break. So Allison mentioned a lot of the parts that go with the lymphatic system, you know, which all consist of our lymph nodes and the way in which it holds on and gets rid of waste byproduct. Our thymus gland that she spoke about is here. And when they were talking about skin brushing, that's what you want to do is you want to make sure you're always brushing towards the thymus gland. So therefore, everything from the bottom comes up, and if it's on the top, it's going down. The arms are always towards this thymus gland by the clavicle. And that's the way in which that we're going to move a lot of waste byproduct. One of the other things that happens is we have a lot of lymph nodes in our colon. In our colon, if we can hold on to the waste byproduct, and one of our amazing products called Good Tracts, it's going to help be a binder. So therefore, the waste in the fluids that get uptake by the lymphatic system and brings it back to the liver to be filtered cannot have as much waste byproducts. So that could be chemicals, pesticides, insecticides. Here in Louisiana, we have plants which put off a lot of waste byproduct into the air, and we're the end of the Mississippi chain. So all of the waste byproducts that exist here, our bodies will surely benefit from anything that can absorb and take that waste byproduct out of the body so the lymphatic system can get a break. Oftentimes you'll hear when people have issues going on in the colon, it's like how many lymph nodes that they have to take out will determine a portion of the colon that's going to be taken out. Well, why not? Let go of toxins. Let's do those cleanses 3 times a year. You know, whether or not we do the 14-day whole body detox or we turn around and we, you know, just do it once a day and do it for 30 days. It's going to really help the body in having more energy, being able to be more productive. Wouldn't everybody like to have more energy to where it's like when you're going to bed at night, you're just passing out because the body has done all its job. It's being able to sleep better, because if we're not sleeping, sometimes it has to do with what the liver has to take over and clean up that the lymphatic system didn't get to deal with that day. And as we take you through the whole body detox, let's see, y'all want to bring up the screen on have the good vibrations. So the good vibrations is going to be our binder. That is going to be what takes up the waste byproduct. And one of the things you want to do is in the morning when you wake up, you want to drink, they say 10 ounces of water. I say a liter of water. Help the body start getting hydrated. We have all kind of things we need to push out the body. Let's get that water in. I like before breakfast is to do my 1 scoop in about 10 ounces of water. If you have a person who doesn't like to guzzle that down, then go ahead and just use your 4 ounces. I like to do it in a bullet blender. So I just blend it all up and then chisel it down and get it in the body. Some people can put this in their Soul Complete. There's no wrong way or right way. So what I do is when I'm taking my good vibrations is when I take my fast track. So on the protocol, we could either do 1 to 3 capsules. You want to determine this according to our bowel tolerance. So if you're a person that goes every day, you might just want to do 1 fast track. But if you're a person that has those sluggish bowels, then let's go up to the 3. Between 7 to 10 in the morning, you can do your Soul Vital in 16 ounces of water, or you could do like Lon and add some lemon and lime to that. I personally like putting my morning Soul Vital in my good vibrations. So the greens are the oxygen. That's going to bring more oxygen into the body. It's going to help, the smell of our bowel or the waste byproduct gets cleaned out with more greens. So they say that chlorophyll helps to not have stinky poo. Only herbalists talk about that. And then we have the afternoon. You want to do another Soul Vital, or you could go ahead and put that in your good vibrations that you're going to do right before dinner. And the reason we're doing it before is so therefore the fibers can come in, it can get through the system before we eat, and it's going to have made its way through the transit system and allow the body to be able to bring in the food and bring in the nutrients. And the waste byproduct, when we're going to have a bowel movement in the morning, is that nice fluffy fiber. The psyllium hull is going to come out first, and it's going to be able to take out anything that we just don't need anymore. Then before bed, we want to do 1 to 3 capsules of the Omitox, and that is also adjusted. So one of the things I do is I tell people your first 1 to 3 days, like maybe perhaps just do 1 fast track, 1 Omitox, and then work your way up. And you'll take that 14 days. You can, if you have been doing the herbs or taking the whole body detox, then go ahead and start the program. You should have no problems. But sometimes people are a little hesitant. So therefore, we just help them ease into the program the first 3 days. And then that way they're ready to go and just make some adjustments. There's no wrong way. There's no right way. If you want to do it for 30 days, what you want to do is take your good vibrations, your Soul Vital in the morning along with your fast track, and then do the Omitox at night. Because when we're working with types of people, school teachers, you need to do those in the afternoon because you're in the classroom all day long. You want to have that bowel movement before you leave in the morning. You want to work with people according to their work schedule and what their comfort zone is. And this is a wonderful program. I have used it for over 3 years, and we get lots and lots of success from it.
Outstanding. Great presentation, Chris. I just love to listen to you explain how the body needs to be detoxified. Great information. And so I'm going to invite all of our live participants to take advantage of this opportunity to ask you questions if they have any questions about this particular program or about cleansing in general. And I wanted to ask you, so how do you know that this program is being effective? What are some of the first things you notice to say, oh, it's working? This is what the program is designed to do.
One of the major things, Lon, is sinus issues. When you have, it's only herbalists who really talk about poo and talk about it in the way that we do. So, there's this bowel movement that you have, and after you have it, it's like you can breathe through your nose all the way down. It's like it's the longest breath that you have. And one of the things I say is about a week and a half into that cleanse, and when you take that deep breath, you just know or feel that everything is cleaning out. And that's one of the ways, you could look at it. But I've heard a lot of people say, I never got that the first time I used it, but then, eventually you do. Another thing is that people will feel relieved. They won't have that lower abdominal discomfort or feel full after they eat. Those are, some little tidbits that when you're doing a cleanse, it's really helping you out to digest, move things out in a 12-hour period and not staying hanging around for, 2, 3 days. We don't want those. We want everything to just move on out, digest properly so our bodies can have more energy.
Perfect. Now, I've heard some people tell me that when they have an effective cleanse or they go through a cleanse, that it's like their brain fog is removed and they're able to think more clearly. And we know that the intestinal system and the brain are directly connected. So have you found that to be the case as well?
Yes, that is one of the things that definitely happens with a lot of people. When they are doing the cleanse, probably about the day 2, day 3, they're just like, you're still trying to figure it out. You're still having the discomfort. And then what starts happening is that as the fiber starts absorbing more and more, and one of the ways in which the colon works is that its job is to take a solid waste byproduct and separate it from the water. So how Allison was talking, the lymphatic system takes in that hydration. So when we do the fiber, we're actually being able, when we have that bowel movement and it's coming out nice and fluffy and full, that's where it's absorbing a lot of the waste byproduct of hormones. It's going to absorb the chemicals, maybe MSG that you ate at the Chinese restaurant. It's going to actually absorb it and help it get out the body so it doesn't create that brain fog.
Awesome. All right. Let's see some of the questions that we've had come in. Uh, Someone wants to know, what is the recommendation for people that work all day, like teachers? How often should they take it and when?
Normally what I'll do is I'll suggest it in the afternoon when they get home. So therefore they can have that bowel movement when they wake up in the morning. That
Uh-huh.
way they're comfortable and they don't have to worry about finding somebody to watch their children and or have accidents, not an accident, but take off and say, I don't have anybody to watch these children. I got to get to the bathroom. You don't want that to
Right.
happen. So what you want to do is do it in the afternoon, because think about your transit time is always going to be anywhere. It should be 12 hours, but if you're knowing your sluggishness, I would say start on a Friday afternoon. So that way you have Saturday and Sunday to ease into it and feel more confident.
Hmm. Now, someone asked, how often or how frequently should someone go through a detox program?
One of the things I like to say is every change of the season, we should clean up. So therefore, I like to suggest it every change of the season. However, if we've had some, issues going on, we may want to do it a little more often. It's not going to remove nutrients from your body. It's not going to deplete you. It's actually going to help provide more energy.
All right. Another person asked if a regular cleanse would help with balancing hormones.
Absolutely, because one of the things we forget is that we have what's called waste byproduct of hormones. So if we think about it, a menstrual cycle comes every 30 days, and all of the estrogen, progesterone, all these have to be recycled. So it does become a waste byproduct that the liver has to filter out, and the kidneys and the bowel. It has to be eliminated through the kidneys and bowel. So absolutely, if you're having problems, a cleanse will definitely help. And sometimes you could go a little milder, like you don't have to do it as aggressive as we wrote the program, but the program works very well, as a 14-day detox.
All right. Final question. What if someone is suffering from, say, diverticulitis or other issues related to the colon or the intestines, should they avoid a cleanse?
Well, it's always good to check with your doctor. However, one of the things that's where I like the Soul Complete. And with the fiber, you could put a little less fiber, but put your Soul Complete because we have the slippery elm. We have that marshmallow, which would be amazing for those exact conditions that you mentioned that goes on in the colon. So sometimes we just want to do it a little less aggressive, and we could just maybe put a half of a scoop in your 2 scoops of Soul Complete, and that's going to help you see if that's going to be a good fit for you. But normally what happens is fiber helps the colon expand out. And then when it expands out, a lot of the ways in which you're talking about diverticulitis, it's going to help absorb whatever bacterias are in that area, and it'll absorb into the cilium hull and then be removed out of the body.
Awesome. That's one of the things I love about Soul Complete is it is so mild, and yet it has so much great nutrition, but it also has fiber. It also has a heat-resistant probiotic. It has everything in it, and that's why it's appropriately named Soul Complete. It's got everything in it. So
Yeah, and I like
I
it
would say if you're
18
looking for a
plus.
milder cleanse, Soul Complete, maybe add a little bit of the good vibrations, and you're there. Perfect. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Christine. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
wisdom and for sharing all this insight into not only the program, but cleansing in general. Thank you so much. Good night.
Bye now.
All right, everybody. That kind of concludes our virtual happy hour. I have a couple of reminders before we end tonight. First of all, our next virtual happy hour will not take place until 2022. It will be January 18th, 2022 will be our next virtual happy hour. That's because we have something else special planned for the middle of December. I'm not going to tell you what that is. You'll get more information about that coming soon, but we are going to have a special program, not necessarily a virtual happy hour, but something in the middle of December. And we will obviously have our Inside Soul the first Tuesday in December. And then after that, we will announce what's going to happen in the middle of the month. Also, I want to remind you that registration is now open for our virtual kickoff taking place January 14th and 15th. And the registration is $65, and it is a great deal because we're going to get some great training, third-party training from a social media expert who knows a whole lot about marketing via social media. And we're also going to be giving away some great prizes. And in order to be eligible for the prizes, you need to register. And we'll also be sending out a registration packet that includes a great soul gift. So for $65, it's a great deal for the training you're going to receive. So make sure you get registered and register all of your team. We'd like to have a great turnout, a great audience for our virtual kickoff in January. So again, I want to thank Dr. Allison. I want to thank Chris DeVilliers for sharing great information about cleansing, about the lymphatic system, and about the Good Tract 14-day cleanse. And I want to thank all of you for joining us for our virtual happy hour. Thanks, everybody. Good night. We'll see you soon.